Today is May 28th on a Wednesday. I mean, I wasn't really sure because it doesn't feel like a Wednesday. Yeah, I really gotta bring that up now. That goddamn short. I love that shit. Not my favorite skit, but certainly one of my classic skits of Family Guy. Well, it's not even a classic because of the season it took place in, but whatever, I guess. It doesn't matter. You say classic to group up things that are pretty dear into your memory. Like something that was so long ago, but was probably not that long ago to begin with. Or maybe it is. And speaking of what happened long ago, I had this specific memory that happened in 4th of July at the age of 7 or 6. I was with my dad to to a barbecue party in between these wooden fences that was decorated in like the stars and stripes, but like in those little triangle banner things, if you know what I'm talking about. And it just a whole bunch of food stands of barbecue and people around walking and shit, and just having a good old time while I was just eating goddamn hot dogs. And I just realized that that probably was a dream and not like an actual memory because it just didn't seem right or legit because I just don't really remember how it even got to the point of the event or what happened after, other than like, I don't even remember if there were any fireworks at the end. I just remember that I was just in this place, my dad, and we were just eating these meats, but a whole bunch of other strangers, of everybody else just like eating, talking, or just going on this stage. I think there was a stage because I only remember much about the food stands, and it's all in between wooden like fences. And it was also like at night, I think, but whatever. I don't remember if it was like at the side of a road or at some sort of woods place or maybe in the city. It just doesn't matter. I just don't remember specifically, other than the fact that this thing happened, and whatever happened before and after doesn't fucking exist because it might have just been a whole dream that just happens to be a memory of just me with my dad. And when you look at that, I don't even think I just have like any way of ever referencing that up till now, because this is probably the first time I even just like had to even say it out loud of memory, because it's like I never mentioned this or even to like my dad about this, other than the just fact that I just remember it just being a thing now. It's so weird, it's so crazy, but it's also nice. And well, for most people it should be nice because you always have those kind of memories of spending time with somebody that you like, or simply your family. But like, how much of those memories would be real? Because I mean, yeah, sure, they're always going to be real, but as the ones from when we were kids is the most questionable, depending on how good your memory is, how much you care about memories, how much you document them, or simply if you're just like me where I just flow with life. And then I start questioning things. It's just a little too late, if you ask me, because now I have to remember what happened, and what didn't. And obviously, you can always know the answers by asking the people that were involved. I just haven't asked my dad about this, but it's also very specific to even mention. So I have to really bring it up once I see him again in the States. I am going to be traveling to the States around July. No, the start of July. It has to be the start. I want to go there before 4th of July. I know, that's probably the reason why I'm mentioning this memory. But I really do wonder why I even have not much to say about the reconstruction of the memory itself. It just ends there. Or do I have any other ones like it? Well, yeah, I do. Except this one, I know it's a fucking dream because it never happened. It's where I was walking at the sides of like the beach shore, You know when you find some of those beaches where instead of like right at the edge of the water shore or just like the ocean, it's just some patches of sand that is submerged in little bits of water that's like a little puddles and shit. And there'd be rocks in those puddles sometimes. If you're in a really cool looking beach, it could just be transparent water instead of muddy water. So I remember that clearly where I was just like messing around those puddles, putting my hands on the sand and walking over these little rocks. And my sister and my mom behind me saying to hurry the hell up. And so I catch up with them walking away from this beach shore up into the green grass meadow or hill. Depends how big it was. Doesn't matter because by the time I'm over at the other side, we're at the streets, at the city, where there's like a casino and some park and whatever the fuck. It just looked like we were at the freeways, the roadways, the side of like the crossroads. Not the crossroads, I'm at the intersection, like when you see like the roadways connecting within each other or whatever, it's like connects with another set of roads which creates an X. But then like on the patches of the X, or at least the land patches that aren't the roads, that's where you get the shops and stores and the casino too. And it's just like we were just crossing the street. And I just remember that had to be a dream because the specific place of the road I did remember, or at least I know where it's supposed to be. It's at a downtown of a neighboring town of my old hometown, but it doesn't exist. At least this beach in question, because there isn't a beach behind that roadway or that weird casino. There's not even a fucking casino over in that fucking area. I wonder why I dreamt about a casino in front of a beach, or at least past the beach, because the beach is behind a grass hill, and then you get the casino and the roadway, so whatever could it have been. Dreams are just always like this. You just think of these random shits and giggles of like stuff that shouldn't even be together, but they just are. And I know what you're saying about there are always going to be beaches with casinos nearby. Look at beach cities like Santa Cruz. Or that's not really a fucking casino for really comparing that, because that's just an arcade center, but whatever. Just any place with a beach has to have some value of those kind of entertainment establishments nearby. So it may have been like pretty accurate, but I don't know. A beach that was long, like it was a long sand trail with the massive ocean. And it was also during the sunset too. Like it was such a vibe. It had to be a dream. And I know it's not like something where I would just leave it, just follow my mom just out of like into the city, when realistically, if this was real, we would have just stayed at that beach. I don't even think we were even wearing any like swimsuits or something that was prepared for the beach. I was just wearing regular clothes with shorts and all that. And they were all just looked normal too, so it's whatever. I also never question it because I usually forget about it until like whenever when I'm alone and I start thinking, and it's like, yeah, I remember these kind of dreams. They were always kind of weird. Should I ask them? I'll ask them later. But I usually forget about the beach dream until I remember it. And it's just gets on a whole lot more. I guess that's really it, as specific as it goes, just as much as I know. This is kind of like what I would like to talk about during like these times. I am posting this late. I think I wanted to give it a try on how it would be like to talk during that night and to really get it going with seeing how this video would even fit into the algorithm. Not that it matters, because it's not like a big video. That would be on Friday. I would have to work that out in time, but I've been procrastinating. I mean, who doesn't? I would want to get all fast and steady and consistent. But to be consistent is to not always be in the same routine, because that's just following a routine. Following consistency is just posting at the same day, but not at the same time. And I am proud to go against whatever I did a week prior. That's really it, and that's all easy.